Hi, it's Joan. Today we're watching Agatha All Along, Season 1, Episode 9, Maiden Mother, Crone. The last episode was just amazing. I'm so excited for this finale. I'm stressed as well. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon, and let's go. Agatha. Flashbacks! Flashbacks! Who's the father? Was she supposed to die in childbirth?
No. Please. I can offer only time.
Oh my god. So that's what they meant by you didn't give anything you took, because...
You I made from scratch.
She gave him time, but she took him as well, and... It's a different kind of pain, losing a child in childbirth to losing a child you know. Both are horrific, I'm not trying to say they're not. Different types of horrific. Equally horrific, but... Is that a protection ring? She's not a good person. I mean, she can choose to be better. That is 100% a thing she can do, and we've forgiven worse characters in the MCU, but...
One can always rely on the kindness of witches.
Give me that! Leave! Return it!
She used her child to lure people in so she could destroy them. Agatha.
Could we not stay with the witches and survive with them?
No.
Down the witch's road. Whoa.
I cannot protect you from what's coming. And I cannot divine when she will return.
Yep.
When you will return.
Is she going around killing witches to try and get stronger so she can defeat death?
High and low.
I mean, she loves her son. But is she murdering witches in an attempt to get enough power to save him, and all that was... Did she teach this song to people? Oh, he performed it. And so it passed down through tradition.
Wherever did you come upon such a curious song? Come.
Is he... I mean...
My sisters and I
Are they fake sick? But he's got deep bags under his eyes. He doesn't look well.
But no.
He doesn't want to do it anymore.
I can kill more witches tomorrow. I promise.
She's like a serial killer using her kid to lure them in. He is not well. Is Rio here? Wasn't much time. Oh my god, so she just wakes up and he's dead? Not even a proper goodbye? No chance to fight? Or is he gone? Because he wasn't supposed to live.
Nikki. No, I want more time. I want more time. No,
Knowing it's coming does not make it any easier.
The Witch's Road. I heard tell of it.
So she did visit the Witch's Road.
Eyes worth the pair of need. Might you show me the way?
So did they invent the ballad, or did other people invent the ballad and they were just making their own versions of it? Or did she always use the ballad to lure in witches? It was still her way of getting the people to come to her, and then she could...
Pathetic! You're embarrassing!
Yeah. She used it to bait witches in, which I guess Maybe when she agreed to do it with Billy in the first place. I want to go back and watch it. Like, did she look? I mean, I think she did look kind of surprised when there was a door, right? So she kind of was just planning to, I guess, steal the magic of the witches she'd gathered so that she could get her power back.
Maiden mother Crone. The road is wild and weird.
I mean, yeah, Agatha dying to Billy is not exactly a tragedy. Which is exactly what she started to do when it didn't work. She was like, "You're all useless. You're not real witches," wasn't she?
All I see are has-beens.
What is that?
Yep. She did look shocked. At the time, I just thought she was surprised it had worked because it was a motley coven put together. So she guessed it was him the whole time.
It was me. Boom! Ah!
She's a ghost?
I'm a ghost. Can you dig it? I mean, look at this.
She's not, she's just messing with him, right?
The ballad was the trick.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a con to lure other gullible witches.
So you're saying that all of that,
You
everything we
didn't
went
know, and it's not your fault.
literally made the road, then that means that
No, you didn't. You didn't know what you were doing. It's not your fault.
I'm a murderer.
No, you're
Alice.
not.
Well, I killed Alice.
Lilia and Agatha,
Feeling this guilt makes you a good person. It was an accident. It was manslaughter at best.
killed them.
Actually, do the math on it. You saved a life.
Good for her.
Jen,
I was gonna kill them all in my basement on day one.
I mean, true.
Get used to this feeling.
Nope, it didn't work with your
I'll
son.
never get used to this.
Think on it. Even your Nicholas, who you love, was like, "Mum, let's not kill any witches today. Let's do it tomorrow." Like, and you raised him from birth to think that was a normal way to live. Agatha, do better. Billy, stay you. Stay doing better. What's the plan, sweetheart?
Just hand it over.
What's he doing? He's getting rid of her ghost?
What are you doing?
I'm banishing you.
Yeah, I almost had some of that Latin.
Time to go toward the light or into Rio's toxic embrace, or wherever you deserve to spend eternity.
I mean, you've
I
killed
don't care.
so many people. You are a literal serial killer.
Why won't you just die?
Because I can't face him!
Fuck. And we get to the rub of it, the nub of it, the truth of it. Jesus Christ. That's the truth of it. Agatha is a literal mass murderer.
I'm sure he would forgive you for whatever you did.
Did you remind me of him? We can make a good team. You and me.
I mean, you'd have to stop murdering people.
Coven too?
Kill my coven members.
So do I.
One of that was intentional, the other one wasn't. And the road is gone. Oh. You didn't kill anybody consciously. But I like him for the fact that he feels their deaths regardless. They teaming up now?
Let's go find Tommy.
I mean, Billy is extremely lost in general. But I worry about the influence Agatha will have on him. But maybe he'll have a good influence on her? Ah! Come on, give me an end credit scene. I'm assuming there isn't one. Oh, okay. So I really love that episode. I love that we got Agatha backstory because I've been wanting it so badly. We know what happened to Nicholas, and often one of the biggest crimes they would throw at her was she killed her son to get the Darkhold. She killed her son for power, and we know that is categorically untrue. She did also like mass murder people, and people who were just trying to help. It wasn't even like she sought out bad witches and was like, well, I can, make myself feel good by like killing them. Nope, she just killed literally any witch she came across. Now I love the explanation of the ballad, where it came from, how it was just used as a con, and this idea that she had once walked the road, is possibly partly coming from the fact that people would have known a witch who went to walk the road with Agatha and then never came back, and then Agatha was left. But it also adds to the mystique, and if somebody is going to want to walk the road, they're going to appeal to Agatha about it because they've heard that she's done it before, and it adds to her target pool. But she is a serial killer who was using her child to lure her victims. So I don't like her very much. Now, I love her as a character. I think she's fascinating and so much fun, and I hope her ghost stays around for a really long time. But, this whole series I've been like oscillating backwards and forwards between, is she a mostly okay, good person? I don't know, good, or just, not evil person who hides behind the front of evilness? Or is she an evil person who occasionally does things that aren't evil? And I think it's a mixture of the two, but it's closer to the evil version. Like, I would probably say that she's not evil, but she's more evil than, say, Thanos, because Thanos at least like thought he was helping. Whereas she just literally wants power for herself, and yes, that comes from wanting to survive, that comes from wanting to live, and that is something we could all relate to. But your survival doesn't justify murdering countless people. So I worry going forward, like when Billy is in this place where he doesn't really remember much, he's figuring out who he is, and he's dealing with the guilt that he feels for killing the members of the coven along the way, though I will say like that isn't his fault. Like, it's good that he feels the consequences of it, because that suggests he's a good person who cares, but it also, he didn't know what he was doing. It wasn't something he was consciously doing. So yes, he should still feel it because he had a part to play, but it wasn't like Agatha when she killed Alice even. It wasn't like Agatha when she killed all those other covens of witches, because Agatha did it consciously with a choice, whereas Billy did it without his subconscious. I mean, his subconscious did it. And his subconscious was just trying to fill out the road on the stories he'd heard, and he'd heard it was dangerous and not everyone survived. There was no conscious, I think it would be really fun if I went and killed some witches in order to get my brother back. That was not what he was doing in the slightest. So I don't blame him in the same way. But I am worried that Agatha's moral compass and lack thereof might rub off on him the more time they spend together. Because he's in a fairly vulnerable place right now, figuring out who he is and what it means to be who he is. And you could let an experience like this make you think, well, I am evil, I am dark, I'm just going to do it. Or you can choose to be better. We will see. It was fantastic. Like, I love Agatha as a character, do not get me wrong. She's so much fun, and it does make those moments where she has genuine emotion are fascinating to watch, because they are so few and far between. And she does care about him in a really weird way. But it's like these two, like, they go from like he was literally about to banish her out of existence, and now they're wandering off to work together. Like, I do think Nicholas would understand. I mean, he's also a kid. But also he might be furious at her, because I mean, I assume his consciousness is still like 7 or whatever, but his mum used him to lure innocent people who just wanted to help him to their deaths repeatedly. I wouldn't be too impressed with that. And then it didn't let his death make her do better. She just did it. And like, there wasn't even she was trying to get power so she could. She just was doing it for herself and her own power. He could have had a community. Now, I do think there is an argument to be had that given her early experiences, Agatha probably doesn't trust other witches, and probably did fear that if they were to settle down somewhere, people could turn on them, and that is a valid thing to worry about. But you don't deal with it by killing every single person you meet intentionally. So Billy dealing with the fact that he created the road, that it was his doing, that the road was the biggest con of all time. Agatha was planning to murder a lot of them in that basement in order to get her power back. That's what she really wanted. And then he made the road real. It's just, this show is going to be so much fun to rewatch and to pick up all of the things that make more sense now. Tommy is out there and they're off to find him. Is that going to be like season 2 of Agatha all along? Or in a movie of some kind? Is it going to happen in the Vision series? I don't know what. Agatha doesn't really fit into my idea of the Vision series. I don't know that I have one. Like, how? I want it, and I want it soon. I don't, like, there was a long time between WandaVision and Agatha All Along. I do not want a similar length of time between Agatha All Along and Finding Tommy series or movie or whatever. I'll take it if I have to. But it's just so fascinating. And like Billy is such a fascinating character, especially because we're really watching his formation. Like, yes, he's lived for 3 years without many memories, with loving parents, a boyfriend. Like, he's had a life where I think he was encouraged to be a good person. And the more he's able to remember of Wanda and his family, they also were trying to be good people. Not always succeeding, but trying. And even on the road, I think when he was conscious of his actions and when he was making choices fully in control, he was trying to do the right thing. And then when he was a little bit out of control, either completely subconsciously not controlling his magic or just not entirely sure what was going on, that's when he made the darker impulses. And I think it's fascinating because we all have the capability to go dark. We all have darkness within us. Some people might have it more than others. Experiences can bring it out more than other things. But I kind of hope going forward we see him having a humanizing effect on Agatha rather than her having a villainizing effect on him. Because in the same way that, you know, that day when Nicholas didn't want to go and murder some witches, she didn't make him. And maybe if he'd lived longer and got more of his own thoughts and his own personality and had been able to say to her, like, Mama, I don't think it's good that we do this. I don't want to do it anymore. It might have changed Agatha's mind, but he's died when he was still so young and still in that phase of childhood where you kind of look at your parents, especially if they love you and you love them, as they know everything and they're right and I'm not going to question them. So it would have been interesting to see, and kind of she does see some of her son in him, which we always knew, but she probably always had, and the reason she always had a suspicion about who he was more than even just the sigil. It was because the freaking road appeared out of nowhere and she was like, okay, so this shouldn't be happening. Absolutely fantastic. The scenes between them, like, they are brilliant. So excited for wherever this story goes next. I am going to be singing the Con song forevermore, down 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 the road. It's in my head. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. Again, my brain is just boggled after this. I don't know where the story's going to go. I don't know when the story's going to go, but I'm ready for it. Reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon, and thank you so much for watching.